Why do we abandon our icons when the mainstream media demonizes them? Welcome everyone to another episode of Lancescurv. This is something that we have to talk about. Why do we, as Black people, so quickly abandon our heroes when the dominant white media decides to smear them? It's a question that has haunted me for years, especially when I think about icons like Michael Jackson and Bill Cosby, out of countless others. These individuals achieved monumental success, breaking barriers and paving the way for others, only to be discarded by their own community once the media decided to paint them as villains. Yet, other communities fiercely protect their own, rallying behind them during their darkest moments. These self-destructive patterns must stop, or we risk erasing the legacy of our greatest contributors. Let's start with Michael Jackson. He wasn't just a pop star. He was the greatest entertainer of all time, transcending race, culture, and geography. But when allegations surfaced, much of the Black community turned its back on him, even after he was found not guilty in court. Today, people love to praise his music, his humanitarian efforts, and his impact on pop culture. But where were those voices when he needed them most? The media was relentless in its attacks on Jackson, focusing on his appearance, lifestyle, and personal choices. Yet, we allowed their narrative to overshadow his contributions. This is a man who outsmarted the music industry by acquiring valuable catalogs, including the Beatles, something the industry couldn't forgive. He challenged the status quo and paid the price. But why did we help to tear him down? Bill Cosby is another example. He wasn't just a comedian. He was a cultural architect, using his platform to uplift and inspire Black people. The Cosby Show and A Different World made Black excellence relatable and achievable, encouraging countless young people to pursue higher education. Yet, when accusations of sexual misconduct arose, we dismissed everything he had accomplished. Now, I'm not here to excuse any inappropriate behavior, but let's not ignore the larger picture. Cosby donated millions to Black colleges and created opportunities for young Black talent. His fall from grace shouldn't erase his positive contributions. White America has a long history of protecting its own, no matter how egregious their actions. Why can't we do the same with our icons? At least until the full truth is known. Unlike other communities, we don't have a solid safety net for our people. When Jewish individuals face accusations, their community rallies behind them, providing support and resources. But when a Black person is under attack, we often join the fray, amplifying the negativity. Why is that? This isn't just about celebrities. It's about how we treat one another as a community. Take R. Kelly, for example. His actions harmed many, and he deserves accountability. But we must differentiate between those who have genuinely hurt others and those targeted by the media for daring to rise too high. We've seen this happen repeatedly. From Whitney Houston to Prince, black icons are exalted in death but vilified in life. The white media plays a strategic role in dismantling black legacies. They elevate our heroes only to tear them down when it suits their agenda. This manipulation serves to remind us that no matter how far we climb, we're still subject to their control. And yet, we play into their hands, turning our backs on those who dared to dream big for our community. Michael Jackson's battles with Sony, Bill Cosby's efforts to buy NBC, and even Prince's fight for ownership of his music catalog all threatened the status quo. Their downfall wasn't a coincidence. It was a calculated move to maintain the power structure. We need to stop betraying our heroes. Here's how we can start. Number 1, give our heroes their flowers while they're alive. Celebrate their achievements now, not after they're gone. 2, protect our own. Stand by those who have uplifted our community, even when they face accusations. 3, create our own narratives. Build independent media platforms to tell our stories truthfully. 4, invest in black economics. Support black businesses, films, and creative projects to ensure our voices are heard. 5, educate ourselves about the power structure. Understand how systemic forces work to dismantle black success. We must stop abandoning our leaders and heroes at the first sign of controversy. The white media will always have an agenda, but we don't have to follow their script. Let's honor the legacies of Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby, and countless others who have paved the way for us. It's time to break this destructive cycle and stand unified. After all, if we don't protect our own, who will? I have a list here of 10 people who have faced the destructive forces of the mainstream media and power structure. Allow me to read them and know that this list is minute when you think of all who have come face to face with those destructive forces who tried to break us down. Nate Parker, known for The Birth of a Nation, 2016. Parker's past acquittal in a rape case was resurrected to tarnish his reputation, overshadowing his work highlighting Nat Turner's rebellion. Paul Robeson, a trailblazing actor, singer, and activist. Robeson was blacklisted during the McCarthy era due to his outspoken views on civil rights and his affiliation with socialist causes. Marcus Garvey, founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA. Garvey was targeted by J. Edgar Hoover's FBI, falsely accused of mail fraud, and deported to weaken his influence on black nationalism. Malcolm X, demonized by the mainstream media as a radical and militant leader. Malcolm X was consistently portrayed as a dangerous figure rather than a revolutionary advocating for black liberation and empowerment. Tupac Shakur, a hip-hop legend. Tupac faced legal issues and constant media scrutiny, painting him as a violent and reckless figure, despite his efforts to address systemic issues through his music and activism. Fannie Lou Hamer, a prominent civil rights activist. Hamer was vilified and marginalized by the media for her grassroots work in fighting for black voting rights in the South. Muhammad Ali, stripped of his boxing titles and vilified for refusing to fight in the Vietnam War. Ali faced relentless criticism for his anti-war stance and unapologetic support for black pride. Assata Shakur, a former member of the Black Panther Party. Shakur was framed for murder, labeled a terrorist, and forced into exile, despite her work advocating for racial and social justice. Richard Wright, the author of Native Son and Black Boy. Wright was accused of being a communist sympathizer, which led to his ostracization in the literary world despite his groundbreaking contributions to black literature. Ida B. Wells, a prominent journalist and anti-lynching activist. Wells faced immense backlash, death threats, and character assassination by white media and political figures determined to silence her advocacy for racial justice. These figures, across different genres and time periods, demonstrate how systemic efforts have been made to discredit those who uplift the black community. Many of us are thinking of social media as something progressive. There are good things on it, but for every good thing and bit of information that can motivate us to go higher, motivate us to have more unity, there's enough flooded out to dilute the good. So be careful what you think. Be careful of your thoughts. And most of all, be careful of what content is allowed to flow into your mind and your subconscious mind. As they say, you are what you eat. So if you consume trash all day on social media, what do you think you're going to manifest? Think about it. Thank you for spending your time here. This is Lancescurv of Lancescurv.com. I hope you've garnered something from these words. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm on to the next one. Thank you for being here. I love you all. Peace.
Lancescurv.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.